Dr. No is the first Ian Productions James Bond movie, which we know well. Or do we? Here are 20 things you missed in Dr. No. Hi, this is Dan.
And Tom.
From cracking the code of spy movies, be sure to stick around to the end, as we have a couple of very cool bonuses for you. Check out our website, spymovienavigator.com, and for sure, subscribe to our show right now. That really helps us out a lot, and you won't miss knowing when the next episode is coming out. Yes, it's time to get into Dr. No. Of course, we get Bond, James Bond. No one missed that, so let's move on.
Actually, since this is the first James Bond movie, there are plenty of things you missed in Dr. No, but we'll give you our list. We stay away from the things you missed that are already pretty well known that you see on some of these lists.
Yeah.
Some of these are facts behind things we see, some are continuity issues, and some are just quirks in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's start in the pre-title sequence. We see the three blind mice killers for the first time. Then they walk past a statue of Queen Victoria. Now that statue still stands today in St. William Grant Park, which was formerly called Victoria Park in Kingston. It was erected in 1897 to commemorate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. And there is a direct connection to England, the Queen, and all. And now there's a connection to Bond, James Bond, in the first James Bond movie.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like stuff like that. Now, continuing
Well, it's cool because a lot of movies do this with statues, where the statues are real statues that are there and they commemorate something.
I like to know what they are. All right. And on number 2, continuing in the opening scene, we see them again shortly after that. They will appear at the Queen's Club to kill Strangways. But watch when they're killing Strangways, as Strangways is putting a coin in the blind man's cup. The blind man turns towards Strangways, even reaching his cup out towards him, and his sunglassed eyes are pointing right at Strangways. Even after Strangways passes him, he turns a little. That should have been our first clue, that we should have seen something is wrong with these three blind mice in the first place. Yeah.
What are you saying there, Dan?
I love this. I studied this frame by frame, and I think, man, how could that be? But it's actually there. All right. And number 3, we're not finished with the three blind mice, of course. Then at Miss Trueblood's place, they show up to kill her. So this is about 4 minutes into the movie. When
these guys aren't very nice.
not at all. When Miss Trueblood is on the radio, you can see the window behind her. Nothing in front of the window, no tables, nothing. And notice they are windows only and not doors. The gray wainscoting is below the window, but there's a candle-type light fixture we can see when she stands after hearing a noise, which gives us a reference point.
Yeah, but isn't that a different window? I mean...
Yeah, the thing is, you have to look at this. I've looked at this 100 times. She doesn't really move after she stands up much. And then, bam, this happens. The glass is broken of the window, and one of the mice shoots Miss Trueblood, and the glass falls on a grayish side table under the window.
Oh, see, I thought that was a different shot. I'd have to go back and look at that.
You would think it is a different shot, but she didn't move. She stood up and then bam, bam. And so this table magically appears. We don't really see that table in any other shot there. But then, not even a minute later, 10 seconds later, when one of the mice is going through the radio station area searching for a key, the side table is gone. It's not there. But the candlelight, that's still there. That candle light is still there as a reference. And so, look at that. We think they moved her around to make it a better scene or a better shot, and she is not where she stood up when she is shot. It's bizarre.
All right, I'm gonna have to look at that one again.
Oh, you can look at it 100 times. Bottom line, it's at least a mystery.
Okay, now there was one thing in here that I did catch. Now, when we talk about Miss Trueblood, she's in the credits as Mary, but it's Mary Trueblood.
Yeah.
She's bleeding because they shoot her.
Yes.
And she's at the edge of this woven rug.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to talk more about that rug a little bit later.
Yes.
But when you watch this, pay attention to that rug.
Yeah.
And the lady who played Trueblood was Dolores Keeter, who actually owned the property they used for Strangway's house. It was her only on-screen role ever in the movie business. It's like, hey, if you're going to use my house, you're putting me in your picture.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to number 4. The part that is missed a lot is when Bond and Inspector Duff are at Strangway's house. This is also where Strangways would contact MI6, where Miss Trueblood just got killed. The three blind mice appear way in the background as Bond and Duff get out of the car. It's a small bit, but it's there. Easy to miss. Inspector Duff even turns towards them, which is a little clue that we should pay attention to. And they are there, the three blind mice walking in the background.
Well, I remember the first time, I watched this movie, I didn't catch that. And then
Yeah,
as we
it's
started
hard to
doing
see.
as we started doing our deep dives into this stuff, I recognized they were there. But I don't exactly get the timing here because when Bond and Duff get there, we see the guys back there. It makes it look like they had just murdered Miss Trueblood. But the
Yeah.
timing doesn't work,
No.
right? Because first, where did they put the body if they're out there just
Yeah,
walking? Right?
I-
They carried it out, but they're walking now.
Yeah,
And
no, I don't think it was immediately after.
it couldn't because Bond wasn't there.
Right.
Bond wasn't there that day.
Right, he didn't show up immediately after the murder.
Yeah,
No,
so
no.
maybe that tells us that they were local to Strangway's house,
Yeah.
that they lived
But
around there, or maybe they were just surveilling the site to see when somebody was going to notice.
Well, criminals always return to the scene of the crime to kind of see what's going on. So
Well,
I
that
think
gets you
there
in
they are in the
trouble.
background. There they are in the background. But they are there indeed. All right, let's get on to number 5, Tom.
Okay, number 5. When the three blind mice are going through the file drawer after killing Trueblood, they show some file folders on screen.
Yes.
One has the file header of Dr. No, and the other is Crab Key, which shows for about a second. But what that means is Strangways was already on to Dr. No and Crab Key before Bond got there.
Yeah.
Now, we learned this a little bit later in the movie, but you can decipher that now, early in the movie.
Yeah.
So you can beat Bond realizing that that's what's happening.
Yeah. He's figuring that out later, Bond, really.
Yeah.
But Strangways, he was on it. All right, number 6. Bond tosses his hat on the coat and hat rack in M's outer office, and it lands on the far right side. Moneypenny's there, but about 5 minutes later, after he finishes talking to M, Bond retrieves his hat, and it is on a different hook. We will see that again in later movies.
Well, I mean, this is the start of a consistent inconsistency in the Bond series.
Consistent inconsistency.
A consistent inconsistency. We're going to see this in more than one James Bond movie to come, where this hat kind of has some magical powers in terms of getting onto the hat rack. Either that or Moneypenny's playing tricks on him.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, number 7. Bond gets to M's office at about 10 minutes to almost 11 minutes into the movie. And M says it's 3 a.m. But wait, Moneypenny was in the outer office and greeted Bond at 3 a.m.? Oh, wow. And well, at about 2.5 minutes later, Boothroyd comes in with the new PPK for Bond. Man, this MI6 team needs better hours or a better union or something. I mean,
Well, there was a situation that occurred. So everybody into the office. We don't care what time it is.
right. Page everybody. Oh, no,
Yep,
wait,
exactly.
they didn't have pagers.
All right, now let's get on to number 8. So
Okay.
we're still in the office. M stands up, and we see a few interesting things on the mantle. A lot of times in these James Bond movies, and it kind of sets it all up right here for us, there's going to be stuff in the background to pay attention to.
Yes.
There's a reproduction of J.M.W. Turner's painting, The Fighting Temeraire. It's the picture of the warship, the HMS Victory, and it's a nod to the British military legacy. It was Admiral Horatio Nelson's flagship in the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. And there's also a bust of Nelson on the mantle. It also ties us back to James Bond having served in the Royal Navy. Now, Admiral Nelson is also called out in the first of the Harry Palmer movies, The Ipcress File, and it shows that the intelligence community had great respect for the Admiral.
Yeah. Now, Tom, when James Bond meets the new Q, played by Ben Whishaw in Skyfall, they do so at the National Gallery, and they are sitting in front of the actual J.M.W. Turner's The Fighting Temeraire. The painting is on the wall right in front of them. And by the way, you remember, you and I sat in that very same gallery looking at that very same painting when we were in London. So Skyfall has a nice homage back to Dr. No here.
And
That's
amazingly, the picture looked like it did in the movie.
Yeah. I also like how in that scene, when talking about the CIA having a man working with Strangways, M strikes his match to light his pipe. Immediately after that, he says,
The American CIA sent a man down to work with Strangways. A fellow by the name of Ryder. Do you know him?
he's the guy from the CIA. I mean,
Okay,
was
I
that a
missed
play
that
on
one.
words? Come
I
on,
missed
he's
that
lighting
one.
his...
I like that.
maybe that's a stretch, but it's not one of our 20. So, all right.
Yeah, give us number 9 then, Dan.
All right, number 9, M says, give me your gun. Bond does so. Now, his holster is empty as Bond turns over his Beretta to M. Remember that? He's going to get the PPK. But this is at around 12 and a half minutes into the movie. And then about a minute later, you can clearly see a gun in his shoulder holster. The holster he just emptied with the Beretta has a gun in it before he gets the PPK. So,
Okay, I've looked at this and I didn't see it. To me, this is like Dolly's braces. Right? Some people think she had them. She didn't.
You could see the handle of it sticking out just for a second. So this is a good one. I love this one. All right.
Okay,
Let's get on the 10.
I looked for it because you told me about it and I missed it.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
there.
All right, so let's do number 10 then.
I'll tell you right where it is. It's at 1328 to 1334 in the movie. There you
Okay, I'll go look again.
go. All right, the number 10.
Right. The images on the wall in Bond's apartment when Sylvia Trench is putting in it. Remember when he comes in and she's
Yes.
putting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right.
that's a famous scene.
Is she putting or chipping? I don't even remember. But they're vintage classic Bentleys from the 1920s and 30s,
Cool.
which allows us to connect the cinematic Bond to his literary origins.
That's
And we know from Russia with Love, we see him with his Bentley, but not in Dr. No.
Yeah.
It's a very cool touch, and it does show his passion for cars.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they thought about doing this and put these images on the wall of old
Yeah, it is really
classic
cool.
Bentleys. Yeah. All right, number 11. The photographer at the Jamaica airport, played by Marguerite Lewars, is persistent. She's wearing a bluish-green dress and tries to flash a picture of Bond at around 16 minutes into the movie. And she licks a flashbulb as if to get ready to take another picture. And, this is not the last we see of her here either. So she licks the flashbulb.
Okay, why does she lick it? I mean, you see that all the time in movies. It's like those old school things with the bulbs. Why do they lick them?
Yeah, well, in those days when you had flashbulbs, you had to put in the camera. The oxidation was a problem with the metal bulb fittings. And so licking the bulb ensured proper contact for the flash to fire. So that's why she was doing that.
All right.
Although it does look a little sexual. Anyway. Also, you got to note while Bond is on the phone to the government house, the photographer can be seen approaching Mr. Jones, who is posing to be Bond's sent driver. So check that out. So I'm saying she didn't disappear after licking the flashbulb. She shows up and she's approaching Jones out there. And she stands near the Chevy convertible that Mr. Jones will be driving.
For the last time.
It's easy to miss. She walks away from the car, though. So were they connected? Oh, I don't know. But I saw this for the first time. I'm thinking, oh, there she is again, right at the car. All right, let's get on to
number 12. Number 12 is another thing you missed in that scene at the airport. It's a really quick thing, but the flight attendants, they have the debate with Bond of, hey, that's our cab or whatever. Right? Yeah. They have bags on that said BOAC. Now, this stood for British Overseas Airway Corporation, and it was a government-owned airline. And when it merged with British European Airways, it became known as British Airways. But back at the time, BOAC stood for British Overseas Airways Corporation.
Okay, all right, that's kind of cool. I don't know if we'll count that as a real one, but okay, we're going to count it for now because we're counting. We're on 12. All right, this is number 13. This is really, really a cool one. Now, we mentioned this woven rug a little bit earlier. Now, when Bond arrives at Strangway's house, where Miss Trueblood was killed, Bond sees the bloodstain on the woven mat. But is it this woven mat? No. It's number one, it's a different kind of bloodstained shape. And number two, it's a different shaped mat. Look at it. One's squared off and one is rounded. Only people like us would do this. And I think Luciana Paluzzi is right.
I think you're analyzing this to obsession.
You get into these scenes like this.
It is interesting when you look at the two of them side by side.
Yeah.
how different that mat was. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, people just will remember it was a beige or a tan little woven mat. They won't know what the pattern on it looked like. We'll put it in our video because we're going to do a video on this.
Yeah, we'll
you
do
what
that.
the-
And we'll show you there too.
All right. So number 14, the book from which Bond pulls a receipt for the professional services of Professor Dent
Strangway's receipt. Yeah.
is titled Geological Configuration, Eastern Caribbean. And it's credited to Lyell. Now, Lyell was a famous geologist who died in 1875. This was long before the tectonic plates underneath the Caribbean were understood. So this book was supposedly based on that, but he didn't write a book with that title. And the Lyell collection from the Geological Society of London doesn't have a reference to a book with that title either. So this was a nice prop. They were talking about geology, so they brought Lyell's name in and used some of the formatting of the books that he did, but this wasn't one of his books. And you'd never know that.
Number 15.
All right. So this one is fun because we're in Bond's hotel room in Jamaica, and the steward gives Bond a martini. And now this scene has a fade in from the first meeting with Duff, so you might miss this. The steward uses a shaker to mix the drink. As he hands the drink to Bond, the steward says,
"One medium dry vodka martini, mixed like you said, sir, and not stirred."
This is the first reference in the James Bond movies of Bond not having his martini stirred.
Yes.
But it isn't the classic shaken, not stirred line.
Yeah, right.
We get that line later from when Dr. No's butler brings the drinks out before dinner. And Dr. No says,
"A medium dry martini, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred."
Uh-huh.
the phrase first gets associated with James Bond in the 1956 novel of Diamonds Are Forever. But even then, it wasn't Bond who says it. He does say it in the novel Dr. No when he says shaken and not stirred.
Mhm.
But he doesn't utter the phrase in the movies until Goldfinger.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
And one other note here. I saw this documentary on Smirnoff, which is the vodka that they're
Yes, yeah.
the product placement thing here. And at the time, Moscow Mules were popular, but that was starting to wane and Smirnoff was hurting. And so they bought this product placement in the first movie and they got a spike in sales and it pretty much saved the company from what this documentary
I
said.
bet.
And it wasn't a documentary on Bond. It was about vodka.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, all right. Number 16. When Quarrel is painting the boat as Bond is talking to him, we remember that's how Bond meets Quarrel. The paint stirrer stick is on the left side of the can. This is a little kind of a minuscule little bit I'm pointing out here, but as Quarrel shifts to our right and Bond follows him, the paint can is in view again. This is around 27 and a half minutes into the movie. Now the stick magically appears on the right as we look at it. It's switched all by itself. It's magic.
I think you're analyzing this to obsession.
wait, Dan, you're telling me there's a
It's
continuity
magic.
issue early on in the Bond series? This is actually another continuity already. We're fairly early into this movie.
Hey, come on. It's either Bond or Quarrel. One of them is a magician. All right. Let's get on to 17 then.
Okay, 17 is another continuity error. So when we're at Miss Taro's place, she's about to open the door for Bond.
Mm-hmm.
She comes out of her bedroom, and to the right of the door, as we look at it, to her left,
Yeah.
there's a table and what looks like a bottle of Smirnoff vodka. So we're just talking about this. There are also glasses and a lamp on that table. But after Bond gets rid of Miss Taro, gives her to Inspector Duff, he walks back into her apartment, and the same table outside the bedroom now has a small record player on it. And the vodka and everything else is moved over to the right. And the lamp is gone. So totally different there.
More magic.
I mean, total magical happenings here.
Yeah, there you go.
And Bond turns on the record player and it plays underneath the mango tree. So it's just kind of like, oh, well, nobody will notice we just changed the whole table.
More magic. All right, number 18. At around 57 minutes into the movie, almost 58 minutes in the movie, when Dent tries to shoot Bond, he fires 6 shots into the bed, thinking Bond is there. Of course, Bond is sitting safely waiting for him. But when Bond says at 58 minutes and 26 seconds exactly,
It's a Smith & Wesson. And you've had your 6.
well, that's a famous line. Well, the gun Professor Dent uses is said to be a Colt M1911 style. 45 millimeter with a suppressor. That gun had a magazine capacity of 7 bullets, and you could additionally chamber one, making it 8. Wow, that mistake could have really cost Bond his life.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't exactly a Smith & Wesson.
yeah, but what do we know? And earlier, Bond was issued his Walther PPK. Well, he shoots then with a Walther PPK?
No.
No. He shoots then with a Browning FN 1910. You can see the FN stamped into the gun if you look closely. We show you this actually in our video of the interview we had with Caleb Daniels, who's a gun expert and knows everything about the guns in James Bond here. So take a look at that too. But it's a Browning FN 1910.
Yeah, we have a good discussion about how these guns change during Dr. No and how they don't always use the right guns.
Yeah. Yeah. In other shots, though, we see different guns. The gun provided by the film's armorer, Bapty and Company in London, was a 7.65 millimeter Walther PP, not the smaller frame PPK. And production stills and surviving Bapty records confirm the PP model was used in both Dr. No and From Russia with Love, even though the script and dialogue always refers to it as a PPK. So, see this book. It's a great book, Licensed Troubleshooter, The Guns of James Bond by Caleb Daniels. You could order it now. That's the guy we interviewed and have a video out on our YouTube channel. Terrific. Wow.
It really is. And so sticking here with the guns for number 18 here is there's another anomaly with the guns at Crab Key, right? When they're firing at the dragon, look closely at the gun, or should I say guns, that Bond is firing.
Yeah.
Now, we created a video of that interview with Caleb where we show you, we lightened up the scene because it's a very dark scene. So you can actually see what's going on here with the guns. His first shot, he's aiming a Walther PP. He never uses a PPK in the movie.
Yeah.
Then there's a cut to the dragon. Then back to Bond to fire again. This time it looks to be a Colt 1911. Then there's another cut to the dragon. Then there's another cut back to Bond firing. And this time he's firing a Browning high power. And then lastly, after Quarrel's killed and Bond is hugging Honey, he's holding the Walther PP again.
Go figure.
So again, we go through that in some pretty good detail in that interview we have with Caleb. And if you watch the video of the interview,
terrific.
We show you all that.
Yeah, definitely watch it. All right, 19, Tom.
Okay. All right. So you know the scene, Dan, where the tarantula's climbing up on Bond and he freaks out.
Yeah. I mean, the Dr. No gave it to Dent to kill Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see how glass can be used in a movie here. And if you really pay attention, you can see this is what's going on.
Yeah.
The spider's crawling on glass, not Bond.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious. Now, Connery was really afraid of spiders, and the shots of the spider crawling on the skin uses a stunt double.
When he gets it off of him and he starts smashing it, it's great to see Bond smashing this spider with his shoe, and the music is in sync with each smashing blow. I love that. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, tarantulas, I don't think can really kill humans. They can hurt you, but no deaths from their venom has ever been reported as far as I've been able to find.
No.
Some bites can cause severe reactions in people.
Yeah.
But the bite will likely cause pain, swelling, and redness, similar to a bee sting. But for those with an allergy, I guess it could be dangerous.
Yeah, and I think they said also that the larger the tarantula, the less venomous it is. So, there you go. But the bigger ones are scary. They look bad.
So I went on a boat ride through the Amazon. We took a night hike, and there were these tarantulas, and we're all freaking out. Yeah. The guy's going, those aren't the things you have to worry about out here.
Yeah, you got more to worry about. All right, on the number 20. We don't think you really missed this one, but the guy in the boat at Crab Key when they're trying to find Quarrel and Bond and
they know Honey. Somebody's there, but they don't know who.
Yeah, they don't know who it is. They're searching on the boat, and they come, and the guy's on the megaphone. He's using the megaphone to warn them.
Come on out! We know you're there. We've been expecting you.
And then he yells to the crew.
Full speed ahead.
And he sounds like he is still speaking through the megaphone, but he is not. When you watch that over and over, you go, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But you know about that one. All right.
Okay, now, so we said we're going to do 20, but we found more.
We got a few bonuses.
We're going to go on. When Bond, Honey, and Quarrel are going to their hiding spot in Crab Key, Bond is bothered by the damn mosquitoes,
Yes.
he says.
Damn mosquitoes.
Oh, rub water all over yourself. It's the salt they're after.
Well, that's not really supported by scientific fact. I mean,
No.
well, mosquitoes are attracted to compounds in human sweat. They're primarily lured by carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and other substances, not salt itself.
Honey, 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 what are you thinking?
Close, but no cigar, to use a line we hear later in the Bond series.
All right. Here's another bonus. When Quarrel hears the dragon coming and then runs to where Bond is, and he says he heard it, and the sun is shining through the trees. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. But then about a minute later, it's dark. Okay. There may have been a passage of time that they didn't show us or tell us about, but I don't think they were walking for hours.
The sun sets quickly in the islands.
I don't think they were walking for hours. All right.
All right, so let's go on to the next bonus one.
Yeah.
And this is a nice little salacious one. Honey Ryder has a nude color swimsuit on when she's in that decontamination shower thing on Crab Key. So it's modest, but you get a glimpse of it. It's kind of like how you get a glimpse of Fiona Volpe's panties in the bathtub scene in Thunderball. So it's hard to see it as a shot of maybe a few frames, but it is there, kind of like Fiona's panties.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we have to look at the movie. That's all we're doing. All right. We're on a roll here, Tom, so I'm going to throw in one more, or maybe two. All right. About an hour and 20 minutes into the scene, we see the same dress that the photographer had on at Pussfeller's. Remember, she was, when they got her and took her film and took the film out of the camera and all that kind of stuff, she had this satin rose sleeveless print dress on. It's hanging in the closet for Honey Ryder when they get to Crab Key and they got captured. When they say, "Here's your closet, here's your stuff," the same dress is hanging in there.
Yeah, I think Miss Taro's dress is in there too.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's end this with a fun one. How well have you paid attention to the movie? We all know about Goya's Duke of Wellington portrait that was actually stolen from the National Gallery in August of '61. And we've talked about that in other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But at about an hour and 26 minutes, there's no Duke of Wellington portrait by the stairs that lead up to the dining room in Dr. No's lair.
Right.
This is when Bond and Honey are dressed and they're on their way to go see Dr. No.
Yep.
But then when they go to the fish tank, we see the back of it when James and Honey go to look at the fish tank. And then obviously when they go up the stairs, we see the front of the painting.
Bond notices it. Yeah, looks at it.
Bond notices it. We see it's the Duke of Wellington.
More magic.
So this thing, it wasn't there initially, but then we saw the back and then the front of it.
And there's lots more continuity errors and so on and stuff. But we're going to wrap it up with these top 20 or so.
And bonuses. We can't count.
All right. There are 20 things or so that you missed in the very first James Bond movie by Ian Productions. We've already established that continuity is not a strong point of the Ian Productions James Bond movies. It all starts with Dr. No. All right, that's a wrap of our 20 things or so that you missed in the very first James Bond movie by Ian Productions. So that's a wrap. This has been Dan.
And Tom.
And we thank you wholeheartedly for listening. We appreciate it, and we would appreciate if you would help us out by subscribing to our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies, in your favorite podcast app. We're everywhere. Thanks.